people of the internet. Why black NBA players only marry white women? This comes from O'Shea Duke Jackson. Shout out to O'Shea Duke Jackson. Let's see what he's talking about on this one, man.
Media Takeout came out with this very interesting article called
Here's the Race of All the Black NBA Players' Wives. Most marry non-black women.
And so they did some statistics of people in the NBA, I guess famous people, and who they're married to. So they took 60 NBA players that were legally married before last season. More than 40% were married to non-black women. If we look at the ones that are married to black wives or have black fiancés, 17 of these people are Trevor Ariza, DJ Augustin, Harrison Barnes, Daniel Gadford, Rodney Hood, Andre Iguodala, LeBron James, many others, Kyle Lowry, Russell Westbrook, Chris Paul. Okay, we knew that. Now, there are 18 of these popular players who are married to biracial women. Let's start with Bradley Beal, Miles Bridges, Alec Burks, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, Seth Curry, and Stephen Curry, Dwayne Dedmon, De'Aaron Fox, Rudy Gay, Draymond Green, Tobias Harris, Udonis Haslem, Damian Lillard, and others.
So what? So, of course, as he went in there, he's explaining to players that, you know, their demographic, they're African-American, whether they're biracial, who they're dating, who they married, whatever the case is. My initial reaction is, so what? Why is this even a topic? Why was there even an article written about NBA players and their wives and the race of their wives? Why does that even matter? Honestly, like, I don't get that. I see that narrative a lot online, like, oh, he must have married a white woman. Like, so what? Now, the reason why, especially in the black community, why I feel like it's a level of, you know, contention or controversy, whatever the case is because there's a narrative out there on the internet that believes that, or stereotype, I should say, that's been around for some time now, that black women are hard to deal with. They're too, you know, they have strong attitudes. They are, you know, too vocal. They're not as feminine, this, that, and the other. I've been hearing that narrative for some time, especially a lot more in this, you know, red pill space on YouTube, this, that, and the other, blah, 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 where they've given the black woman the stereotype of she's angry, she's bitter, she's hard to deal with, she's not feminine, this, that, and the other. Okay. If you ask me personally, like, I don't necessarily think that that's a fair stereotype to associate with the black woman. I think that any woman at any time could be belligerent or less feminine or whatever the case is, this, that, and the other. Now, of course, the stereotype is saying, you know, it's majority. Of course, we could generally say that everybody's capable of having that characteristic, but they're saying that, of course, majority of black women carry that trait. I would say this, right? And me personally, I honestly don't care. I honestly don't care because I think it comes down to you as a person and your preferences. Specifically to this video, what the case is, or this article, or what, you know, O'Shea was talking about in his video was that, you know, what is the title? Why black NBA players only marry white women. So what? Is my honest reaction. Who cares? Show me where it's written in law that a black man must marry a black woman. A successful black man must marry a black woman. An NBA player, an athlete, an actor, whatever the case is, must marry a black woman. Who's dictating that? You're gonna let society dictate who you should marry? Black man? I hope not. You're gonna feel ashamed of your partner because society deems it unacceptable? Don't do that, bro. You see, that's the problem. I pride myself in not giving two shits about the rules society has laid out for you. I don't care. There's not an institution, bro. Honestly, honest to God, bro. It's kind of making me mad because as I'm watching this video, like, and thinking about it, like, why do we do that? You see, man, and that's why people be like, oh, he's, you know, he's a rebel. He's anti-establishment. Because I do sometimes believe, man, society is, if you follow the narrative of society, it will lead you astray. Some of y'all fall victim to these stereotypes and online talking points, whatever the case is, to the point that you don't even know how to conduct yourself in your own relationship, in your own household. YouTube or the TikTokers or whatever the case is, online creators say, don't go 50-50, and now you looking at your partner, you don't want to go 50-50. The internet will tell you, oh, don't, you know, hey, don't pay too much on the first date. Now you don't want to come out of pocket on the first date, this, that, and the other. Now, are there, you know, situations in those circumstances where, you know, yeah, it's probably best to, I'm saying all I'm basically saying, everybody has the right to live how they want to live their life. It's basically what I want to say. I don't want to go down that tangent, whatever the case is, this and the other. But why do you guys let society and social media dictate your lives? I'll be damned if I was hesitant to get with a white woman or whatever the case is because I was for fear of backlash from the black community, strangers on the internet. What? Me personally, folks, let me keep it 100 with you. I'll keep it 100 with you. Me personally, I like all types of women. In my history, of course, in high school, whatever the cases, have I majority of the time been with black women? Of course, yeah. You know, those are the people that I was around the most. Of course, I grew up with a lot of minorities. Of course, I'm a black man. I'm a, African American. What are the cases? So minorities were the cases. I grew up around minorities a lot, of course. When I grew up, the school I went to was super diverse. The neighborhoods I grew up in were super diverse. I went to a HBCU for a little while. Transferred to a non-HBCU, whatever the cases. But for the most part, a good chunk of my life, I've grown up around minorities. So of course, by default, just my environment, I've been more privy to interacting with African American women. But that doesn't mean I'm discriminating against the other forms of women. It does not. It does not. I genuinely love women, all kinds of women, to be completely honest. So it's like, I'll be damned if I was hesitant to talk to a woman that I was attracted to because she wasn't black, for fear of what the black community would say. Oh, nah, he went and got himself a white girl. So what? He got himself a Dominican girl, black girl, whatever the case is. You like what you like at the end of the day. You like what you like at the end of the day. I don't discriminate. All right, it's one thing to have preferences, right? So if it's just that's your preference to date a non-black woman, okay, cool. You don't prefer whatever the case is. But I can see if it's one thing, let me say that. So if you do, if it's one thing to have a preference. If you have your preference, hey, I prefer black women, cool, kudos to you. Because you stood on that. That's your personal preference and you're entitled to that. But it's different if, I prefer other women, but I'm not going to do it for fear of backlash from my family or my community, whatever the case is. You're crazy. You're crazy. You're not well, bro. Don't do that. So specifically back to this topic, of course, again, titled, Why Black NBA Players Only Marry White Women. Why is this even a discussion anyway? And it reminds me of the song, Kanye, I think it's the Kanye song Gold Digger, when he says, and when he get on, he'll leave your ass for a white girl. And when he gets on, meaning, of course, when he gets successful, when he gets famous, whatever the case is, he'll leave you for a white girl. So Kanye did say that in that song some time ago, whatever the case is. But I think the only reason why, and I think they kind of covered that in the earlier half of this video as well too. I think the only reason why it's up for like debate, whatever the case is because of our history. Let's just, address the elephant in the room. We do know that racism was a thing. We do know that slavery was indeed a thing. So some people think like, how could you? How dare you? Don't you know what their ancestors, her family will never accept you? Don't you know what her ancestors thought about your family members? Her dad will never accept you, whatever the case is. That's the mentality that's going to keep us stuck. You see what I'm saying? That's the mentality that's going to keep us stuck, bro. It's going to keep us behind if we're still holding on. I'm not saying let's forget about our history and our ancestors, whatever the case is, but how are we going to move forward? Not marrying a white woman is not going to bring us any closer to the dream of us being together. I feel like it's going to actually work counter to that, whatever the case is. Maybe if we did have more biracial families, more races intertwining, all this racism and tension would start kind of fizzling out, is my honest opinion. Think about it. What if we did have more biracial families where more, black African-American males and white women, or vice versa, whatever the case is, were marrying and having children? Where Asians and blacks, whatever the case is, there would be no time for racism because, like, damn, I can't be racist. My wife is white. My wife is, Asian. My wife is. So I think biracial couples are a beautiful thing, to be completely honest, because I think that's one of the solutions that we can kind of fizzle out this racism thing that we, for some reason, are still struggling with till this day and age. We're still struggling with discrimination and racism against other races, whatever the case is, and different walks of life, whatever the case is. So I'm maybe thinking that maybe that might be a solution. How do we see that we can start coming together? Well, let's start commingling, right? But ultimately, I think the thing that's frustrating me is that this is even a conversation. Why would I care what the hell LeBron James, or Chris Paul, or Steph Curry, why do I care what his wife is? Why do I care? Why? Find something better to talk about. I'm not talking to O'Shea. I'm just talking about it to us as a culture. I'm not talking to O'Shea. Shout out to O'Shea. I like his content, whatever the case is, and I don't even think I fully got his stance because I didn't care to watch the rest of it. But I just wanted to kind of speak on the conversation that I'm seeing online on the internet that we've been having within our culture. Explain it to me. Somebody down in the comment section, explain to me, man, why does it matter who a man marries, specifically successful men? So, if you listen to Dr. Umar, he'll say because you're taking the wealth out of the community. Dr. Umar, shout out to Dr. Umar. I think he's a funny guy. And I think some things he does, kind of hit home on, but I think some things you're reaching. I think sometimes the situations you're reaching. Like, come on, bro, it's not that serious. Me personally, I don't care at all what NBA player, what successful black man. It's your choice at the end of the day. Mind you, this is if you wanted to build a family, you're gonna let social media dictate who you should marry and have children with? Why? You're gonna feel hesitant to pull up to the family cookout with your white wife or your Asian wife because it's not socially accepted? You'll be the fool in that situation. It'll be you that'll be the fool in that situation. Folks, if I've said it once, I've said it a million times. Don't let social media lead you astray. Don't let these societal norms that are counterproductive dictate how you live your personal life. It's strange to me. Like I said, man, I love all women, ladies. Hey, of course, I got my preferences. I like what I like. But if I vibe with you, I vibe with you. If I like you, I like you. If I'm attracted to you, I'm attracted to you, regardless of your race. Simple. Why can't it just be that? He married that white woman because he's attracted to that white woman. And decided, oh, nah, because she's more feminine. Or nah, she doesn't have much back talk. The white woman can give you just as much back talk. The white women can be just, you know, I think the stereotype that goes with all, you know, so you usually hear Caribbean women and, you know, Dominican women or whatever the case is, they're spicy. They're a little bit, but they're more submissive. They cook for their man and they pamper their man. I think any woman could do that if she's treated right. Any woman could back talk you. Any woman could be aggressive. Any woman could do that. But they want to, you know, pin it on the black woman and, you know, try to make you look foolish if you run away from that. Again, believe whatever stereotype you want to believe. Some stereotypes, let's just keep it real, some stereotypes are true, but not all. And even if they are true, so what? Live your life how you see fit, bro. It baffles me when people let social media dictate their lives. Everybody got to go to school. Everybody got to go to college. Everybody has to have kids. Everybody has to get married. No, you don't. You don't, bro. Live your life how you want to live your life. Proudly. That's my take. I want to hear yours. Of course, questions, comments, concerns are all greatly appreciated down in the comment section below. I will catch you on the next one.